everyone, it's Aishatu and welcome to the Making Your Own series. Today I'm with Leanne, who is a fellow cohort member of the Freelance Her 100 program, which is a business accelerator program for women in Greater Manchester who would like to expand or set up a business in the tech, creative, media, and digital space. So it's great. I've done two of these so far, and Leanne was gracious enough to give me her time, even though she's a very, very busy mum, doing loads of things in life as well as her business. And I hope you guys are enjoying it so far, and I'm really looking forward to the chat today with Leanne. So, hi, Leanne. Could you tell us
Hello, hey.
tell us a little bit about yourself and your business?
So, as you say, I'm Leanne. I'm an affiliate marketing consultant, which essentially means I run an affiliate marketing consultancy where I work on behalf of clients to sell their products via other digital channels, if you like. So, I have my clients would be an e-commerce site. Anyone that's got an e-commerce site that's selling, a service or goods. And I would manage the partnerships between them and a website or an app or another digital space, and they will sell it on their behalf, and a commission is paid to the affiliate. So that's essentially what affiliate marketing is, and I sit in between the client and the publisher, the affiliate. Okay. So in a nutshell, that's basically what I do. What I am is a mum of two. I run the business like on my own, and I'm at a point now where I want to grow the business, hence why I'm now on this program, because I think it's a brilliant kind of community to be able to do, and a safe environment to be able to do that in, and it also allows for us to have access to other ladies in the same position or have already made that journey, so that's why I'm here, and that's what I do.
Right. Now, as soon as you said that, I really have to know, how did you end up in that space? Because it doesn't seem to be like a regular job.
Affiliate marketing.
Like your job counselor at high school didn't have affiliate marketer on the list of things.
Nobody mentioned affiliate marketing to me until I was all of a sudden in an affiliate marketing role. I had no idea what it was until I'd been working in it for about 6 months, to be honest.
Okay.
I had no idea what I was doing for about 6 months.
Right.
So I mean, I understood it, but it's quite hard to if you know nothing about it. And back then it was 13 years ago, so it was very difficult for me to grasp just from nothing. I mean, my mum still says she works in the internet, so that's she works in the internet. So and so I left uni, obviously, as you do when you leave uni, you panic, like, got to get a job. So I applied to all these jobs, and I ended up in a role as an affiliate exec at an affiliate network called Commission Junction in London, which is where I went to uni. I was there for about 6 months, with it being a niche discipline, if you like, or a niche marketing model.
Mm-hmm.
It has been, since then, it's been quite easy to find roles, just because there wasn't many people doing it at the time up north, because I came back home then. And then I found a role client side that was affiliate, and I worked for Lake Rooms doing an affiliate assistant role, worked my way up through there. And then that's what I've done ever since. As I say, I've been doing it now for 13 years, so I've been around the block a few times. I've worked at affiliate networks, I've worked for specialist affiliate agencies, I've worked for digital marketing agencies in an affiliate role, and I've worked in digital marketing agencies across a number of different marketing channels as well. I've been, as I say, I've been around the affiliate block a few times.
Yeah, I'm like, this is like your core.
Pardon?
I said,
it's what
you're like affiliate marketer professional.
It's what I know. It's all I know.
I think it's something you kind of like fell into because you felt like, oh, what am I going to do?
And
find your calling in that way. I think it's so valid. And I'd like you to remark on that. Like, how does it feel? Like, you don't feel stuck in it, Like from the way you speak, you don't seem like you feel stuck in it. It seems as though
Um,
you're quite confident that you know about.
I do know what I'm talking about, yeah, because I've specialised in this for a long time. So, you know, I am confident that I know what I'm doing in that space. I also have been exposed to all the other marketing channels because I've worked alongside them.
Okay.
So all the other digital marketing channels, I've worked alongside them. So I do have knowledge in those areas as well, although obviously not as much as I do in affiliate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel I've never feel stuck or siloed because I've always kind of progressed my career.
Mm-hmm.
If I was in a position for a long period of time and I wasn't happy in that position, then yeah, that I could understand, you know, that being the case.
Yeah.
But I've always kind of seemed to move forward, luckily enough. And I've been
Cool.
lucky enough to find myself within the position that I'm in now that accommodates how I want to live, if you like, and also accommodates my children. So I feel quite lucky to be in the role that I'm in.
I think it's so important that women who find themselves in positions that are they're full-time jobs and they're high impact jobs and they're high requirement jobs. You can't do it
Mm-hmm.
like passively. They're not jobs that, and
No,
it's not something that you can sort of like do offhand. And I
no,
think it's really commendable to be someone who is in that kind of job, who also has children and has to allow for that dynamic
yeah,
to flourish. You know, like you're moving forward in career, but you
yeah.
also want to have a joyful relationship in your life.
Yeah, well, I mean, I had to change direction in terms of what I was doing because I was working the normal corporate way, as you do. You know, there's the next step is the next roll up, and you know, obviously a new salary bracket or whatever. And there was a point where I was in a corporate environment. I was working, you know, I was doing all right. I was working my way up, and
Yeah.
one day I just thought to myself, like, I mean, you're a mom, you understand these things, but not a lot of people do unless you are in that position. But
Yeah.
I went into the office one day. I mean, I had a good job and it was all going fine. I could pay my
Yeah.
bills. It was great. But
Yeah.
something wasn't great. There was something that just wasn't okay with me. It wasn't sitting right. So when I went to the office this particular day, um, it was my school's play. It was my son's school play.
Right.
And he was a tree. And yes, he was a tree. He didn't have any words, but he was my tree. And I left the school play early, and it was just a really significant moment for me because even though, you know, most people go, oh, you know, it's only a nativity, they do them every year, he's a tree, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It was just quite pivotal for me because I thought that it was at that moment I thought, what is actually important here, you
Yeah.
know. And then I rushed to the office. I got there. I had a team, and they were there, obviously there before me, and I
Yeah.
was late, and I was you know, I was all kerfuffled, and I just thought, what, you know, this is, and I didn't feel good because
Mm.
I knew that he knew that I'd left early and I'd been here late. So I was thinking, you're not winning in any
Yeah.
way here. You're not, you
Exactly.
know, you're not being, in your head, you're not being a good mom, and
Mm.
also in your head, you're not being very good professionally either.
Mm.
Something has to give. So that day, I decided to leave the office
Mm.
for the last time, I hope. Well, not I hope, but I mean in that kind of
Yeah.
capacity,
Yeah.
because I had to reevaluate what was important, and you know, it could be seen as quite a reckless decision to make, to be fair, because I walked out with no other job, and I had no other means of paying things, and I also had two children, but I had to make a decision based on how I wanted to live my life and how I wanted it to be balanced. And there was no balance at that moment in time. So yeah, I walked out of work that day, and much to everybody's surprise and shock, and went home and didn't know what I was going to do.
But I
So,
think
but
that
it was
advert,
the lightest walk I've ever made
wow.
in my life. Do you
Were
remember
you
that advert, Mr. Soft? That's how I felt like I was walking out of the advert. Showing my
there
age now,
is
but
something
yeah.
really empowering. There is something really, really
Mm,
empowering about making a decision that is unilaterally driven by your desire to live your own life.
yeah. And
Like, yeah,
I think that's an important part of working for yourself. I think
yeah,
these decisions are come thick and fast, and you know, there is a fine line between being reckless and being brave, and I think it's hard sometimes to actually make that kind of what am I actually doing? Is this brave or is it reckless? And I think being in this environment with all these other women who are actually in the same position or have been or are going to be, it just makes it a little less scary, the whole experience.
I do think that's a really valid upside to the program. It's a really,
Absolutely.
and to make sure I said this, that the fact that you thought about that and you made the move, I hope you are quite affirmed in your status as a good mum, not thinking that you're messing. Like, that is solid.
Well,
like, as tick boxes go, I think making those kind of decisions definitely puts you into the good mum bracket. So please.
oh well, thank you. They're still alive. They're surviving.
That's really
I'm
important,
keeping them alive.
That's literally the only mission statement, really. Like, kids, sometimes my son whinges and I just say to him, I was like, yeah, but you're here though, so
Kept you alive.
but but part of my motivation for joining the program was definitely this idea of having these 100 women who all wanted to do something really specific, and they had to have a business that they already set up. Like, I know it was just like a little thing in terms of the application, but you had to have your UTR number or your company house number. So there was something about that said to me, like, oh, all right, it's for, like, these are proper business people who are really in this. And it was one of those things, like, I had just enough time where I'd been doing all this stuff sort of like freelance, and I went, you know what, I am going to go register my company right now. And so I registered my company.
Amazing.
And I was like waiting for this number to come through, because it usually only takes like 3 days for it to happen. But I got to the third day and it hadn't come through, and I was like, oh, the deadline for the freelancer program is going to be here and I won't have a company number. So
I'm pleased you did that, because you are very kind of prominent on the program, I think. And I think without you, there'd be a lot of stuff not being done. So I'm glad you did that.
I'll take that. I'll take that compliment. Thank you so much.
Honestly.
So but there was something really encouraging about seeing so many people who are looking to proactively step towards their goals, and the support that they seemed like they were going to be given was like really extensive. And so far on the program, I feel like it's been very no nonsense. Like, if anything, they could probably give us more time to do stuff with them, because there's so much information, there's so much quality stuff going around. So I'll put it to you then, like, if you had to choose one thing to say to someone, like, you need to get onto this program right now, this thing is going to happen if you join this program, what would it be so far?
I think there's a feeling of empowerment being part of the group. I think it makes more things possible. I think it makes you think differently. So you're thinking outside of your own siloed, working from home on your own usual thought process. Now you're in an environment where ideas are getting thrown about all over the show, and it makes you think about your own position from a different perspective, I think. And I think that's invaluable if you're trying to grow in this current climate.
And yeah, I think definitely for me, the community seems to have been, it's just, I think the community that's been built, or that is building, like, is definitely like a big upside. It's definitely like a big upside to the program. So thinking in terms of your business and where you're now, and you being on the program, I know that having strong women around you, being able to bounce off high quality ideas, being able to get like some proactive steps and actionable advice being given.
Yeah, for sure.
So what is it that you're feeling like you're going to get right now in terms of your business? What is it that you're hoping for the business? Because we've got 10 minutes left. So.
Well, I'm in a position now where I wanting to transition from a consultancy to an agency. Okay. So I'm hoping that this program will help me in that journey. If not, allow me to make that transition during the process.
That is a proper lofty dream. I like it. You want to get.
So this has been in the pipeline for a while now, and I think this is the push that I needed, for sure.
So in terms of your day-to-day, when it comes to a client coming through to you and wanting to do something with you, could you just walk me through briefly? Like, I sell fashion goods. I sell some nice handmade bags, and I would like to get on board with you. What is my experience when I come through to your organization for support?
So we'll have an initial chat. So my clients usually come through. That's another thing that I wanted to say. I get a lot of my business through the freelancer network. So if
Oh,
you're
nice.
not on there, like definitely a lot of business comes through that and LinkedIn. Yeah, so we'll have an initial chat about their business, about what they understand affiliate to be, and how they see it fitting within their overall business. But on the back of that, I should then obviously have enough information to be able to know whether I can help or not. And if I can, I'll ask them to send me over a brief in terms, just a really short email. This is what we want. This is what we do. Basically what you've said in the phone call, just so I've got it on paper. I'll then return them a proposal. And on the back of that proposal, we'll have another conversation. And then hopefully we start. So we will talk about next steps, and we will talk about timelines, and then we will obviously put a start date in place. Contracts will be exchanged, and we start then.
And is there like a typical time frame that someone works with you for, or is that like a non-question? Is it so different?
Yeah, I work with SMEs mainly, and the reason that I do that is because there's a lot of smaller businesses coming through now, and have been, that aren't kind of fully comfortable with affiliate or not fully knowledgeable about it and want to try it, haven't done it before, just at the beginning stages of it, but they're not willing to invest a 12-month kind of agency fee, or so I work with smaller businesses on short-term contracts to allow them the flexibility to try it. I'm quite confident in what I can do, so if I give them 3 months contract and it's not too much of a commitment, then I know that in 3 months I can, if it can be done, I'll do it within that 3 months. Or but it gives them the opportunity, it gives us the opportunity then to, after 3 months, to have a conversation about what went well, what we've learned, and how we're then going to progress. Or I've not had it yet, but if they want to leave,
I think
and
that's
I'm rubbish.
never.
It's funny, the short-term contracts, I've never really, even though they've all been 3 months, I don't usually get people going after 3 months. So even though it is a 3-month contract, it's very rarely a 3-month contract.
I think that's a solid, I think that's a really solid selling point. Like,
yeah,
because being able to give people the can you hear that? That just went
ice cream. Yes, please.
Awesome. I want some ice cream now. But yeah, I do think it's a solid selling point that you're willing to onboard people for short term, like something that's not necessarily typical for your industry. And inevitably you've been able to evidence it, because if in the 3 months they're making their money, why would they leave? Like, it makes so much sense. So I think that's super, I think that's a super tick for you. I think that's a really cool upside. And I know we were saying just before we started recording, when we were chatting before, about how you've recognized that you need to sort of like expand your circle in order to expand the business. And now that you've mentioned having, like, the ambition is to build up to an agency, that makes so much sense.
But what I'd want to do is kind of position myself as an agency, but not your typical agency, an agency that doesn't operate in the way that the agencies operate that my clients have been dealing with previously, or potentially could end up dealing with. Because I think the agency culture is often, not all agencies, but is often kind of like a bit robotic and a little bit kind of, factory. Same. There's nothing bespoke or personal going on, and we're in such a rapidly changing landscape now digitally that there has to be some sort of personalization going on with these programs, and also with your client. Like, you have to have that kind of rapport, and that, because it's an ever-changing landscape, especially with affiliates. There's new affiliates emerging all the time. We've got tech affiliates, we've got incentive affiliates, we've got there's shopping affiliates, feed affiliates. There's lots of different, and there's new ones coming to the table all the time, addressing issues that are raising themselves, that are appearing because of the environment that we're in. And if you don't adapt, and I think the people that are going to do well out of this are those that are adapting, that are changing with the environment that they're in. And that is what I'm trying to do. And that is where I see my success in,
I can definitely see it.
if I manage to do that.
I'm buying into it. You're saying this.
Really?
Do I need to do this?
I think you do. I think everybody does.
I feel like I need to get your services.
You do.
Oh my. So
You
like,
definitely do.
so you mentioning that your lifestyle is now such that you're living sort of like in line with what you want your life to be and what you
Yeah,
can
well,
be. Kind
that's a
of,
big
there you go.
statement.
So that's
I'd
what
like
I'm
a
like.
nanny and a cook and a
There you go. Well, you know what? Once that agency steps up, and you know you got your
Well,
agency,
yeah.
ain't got yeah, you got your agency, you got your staff coming through, you got your flexible
Yeah.
personalized plans that you're creating for people. That nanny will be
Living the dream.
time. But I'm
Living the dream,
curious
hey.
though. I'm curious as to how are you finding the balance right now? Because I'm really interested in the mother's
Yeah.
experience in
Okay,
industry and
so
the mother of young school-going children as opposed
yeah.
to mothers of kids who have flown the nest.
So you want the real, you want it
Real.
real. You
I
want it
want
honest.
the real. I want to know how
Yeah.
you
It's
like
a struggle.
experiences.
If we're honest, it's a struggle. It's hard work. We're running a business that is obviously requires a hell of a lot more than going and doing a 9 to 5. Sometimes we're working weekends, I'm up at 4 or 5 every day. And then I work sometimes when the children have gone to bed, and then you're doing your homeschooling. I mean, it's less of the physical stuff that you've got to do, and it's more of the mental. It's more of the I feel bad, or you
Yeah,
as a mum, you feel bad as soon as they come out. You're going to be
yeah,
guilty for the rest of your life. You might as well just accept that. But now you want them, you don't want them in the house all day, but there's nowhere to go, and you're taking them out walking, but then that's your hours out of your day when you're getting pings through on your phone. You don't want to be on your phone when your children are there, because you want to pay them
yeah,
attention, but you have to be on your phone, else you can't work, and you can't pay for them to have new
yeah,
trainers or feed them
yeah,
even. So it is difficult at this moment in time, but I think it is difficult for everybody, however old your kids are, however, because if your kids aren't in your house with you, then it's a lonely situation.
yeah,
So I mean, we're all struggling in our own way, and I think it's just a
yeah,
case of making sure that we're all conscious of each other, and understanding that we're not all in the same situation, but we're all in the same boat. And it's a case of just doing your best and not being so. I've found not being so hard on myself and just going, you know what, I've done my best today, and it
yeah,
might not have been what I wanted to do today, but it's the best that I could do. And even if it wasn't the best that I could do, I know that I care about what I'm doing,
yeah.
and that sometimes is enough.
So
You
I'm
can't put
curious.
too much pressure on yourself.
Yeah, like I think it's so like being gracious is so vital. Like just being
Yeah,
gracious with
yeah,
yourself, being gracious with the kids as well, because
yeah,
like there's so many things that I'm pretty sure I'm misremembering from when I was younger, where I'm like, when
yeah,
I was your age, I didn't do and I didn't, and
yeah.
I like
I sound like my mother daily. Turn that music
and
down right now.
honestly, and then I speak to my mom and she's like, yeah, you're just like that. I'm like, no way, I would behave. I was a good child. But I'm curious,
Angels, all of us.
like, what do your kids think of you working? Because right now, my son absolutely despises it. Like he,
Yeah, I mean they do, don't they? They don't understand. They don't get it. They're not supposed to get it. The children. You're supposed to just be their mom, and that's what they want you to be. So yeah, obviously I get mom in the background. He's just come in now. He loves it when I'm on a video call, loves it. No matter how many times I say, like, I'm give mummy 20 minutes, he's in the background, his finger up. So yeah, I think it's difficult for them. Sometimes I think they want, sometimes they'll be like, oh mom, I need, I want attention.
yeah,
um and I think it's important in that moment to stop what you're doing and pay them the attention, but make them understand that it can't always, you can't,
yeah,
there has to be times for it. But it is difficult, and I think, as mothers, when we're trying to do something different, you've just got to be a little bit stronger, and a little bit, you've just got to want it more.
I
You've
think
got to
that's
want it more.
where your heart is, isn't it? Like my husband was saying
Yeah,
to me a couple of days back, where he's just like, you know what, I know where I don't take care of myself and I kick myself for it, but I'm so cross with you. Like, why aren't you sleeping? And he just
yeah,
goes like,
so
why
cute.
aren't you sleeping? I'm like, because I've got stuff to do and I don't want to do it while
Yeah,
you guys are here.
yeah.
And then
Mm.
but you have to take a step back and just be like, but what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Because
I'm
sometimes,
one person. Yeah.
yeah. And I think
Mm.
it's just, we're so ambitious. I don't know
Yeah.
exactly how it is for men, but women are so ambitious and they want to do so much and fill it in And I don't know how much of that is just like social conditioning and how much
Yeah,
of our
yeah,
capacity to create and to do.
yeah.
But
We're expected to do so much, and then we transfer those pressures from society onto ourselves, but it's unrealistic. And until we sit down and go, this is unrealistic, what you're demanding. I mean, when you're trying to run a business as well, most of the demands that you put on yourself are unrealistic. You know, because it's you're being a mum and you're running a business. It's not on paper. It doesn't work.
no.
But we make it work. We have to make it work, you know. And a massive part of that is just saying, right, enough of the beating yourself up. I do a lot of that. You know, that wasn't good enough. That should have been better. Blah blah blah. But sometimes you've just got to go, that's my best. That's it. You know. And it's all coming from a good place, and it's all coming from a place of wanting to do more and be better. So, and that's enough. I still get up at 4 or 5 though every day with lists in my head, like right, tick, 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 tick.
Yeah, I like that you get better. I think you just get as time goes on, you get better and more efficient at sort of going through the cycle. I think when you're a mother to like younger children, you might sort of beat yourself up for a couple of days, like, oh, I forgot. And as you get older, you just get to like, oh, that didn't work out. It's like, yeah, but so don't a lot of things. You get over it. And you
brush it off.
You just
well, I've got a 6-year-old and a 13-year-old. It's very, very different. Than what they need from me are two totally different things, you know. So it's like being in the middle of that as well. But I'm really proud of the kids for the way that they kind of have just kind of had it and rolled with it, and they're a lot more resilient than we are, to be honest.
They
are. We think they're dealing with they're dealing what we did. They're not bothered. Most of the time they're not bothered.
The amount of times that I've seen my son, like if it's been told off and I see that he's like really sad and upset about it, I get like a proper peg and I'm like, oh no.
Oh, it's horrible, isn't it?
And then I speak to him after and he's just like, he's fine. Like he's just, whatever it is, he's like over it.
What are you talking about?
Like, what do you mean? When are we getting ice cream? I'm going out, whatever. I think it's really great that you've identified like your values and you seem to be like working steadfastly like towards just living those out and being able to get into this program and know exactly and so like thank you so much for your time today.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
How open and honest and like free flowing. You should do this more. You interview really nicely.
Are you joking? Oh gosh. So as well, this is one thing that I've never done. I don't put myself out there. I work in silo, I work on my own, I work very quietly, nobody knows what I'm doing. And it's like, you can't grow like that, Lee. You can't. So
look at this.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So take it easy.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.